Every single day in the US alone, 88.5% of the population uses the internet. By today's standard, the access and use of the internet has practically become a requirement to function in society. Jumping straight into nitty-gritty, the biggest issue facing the internet currently is the concept of net neutrality, also known as the open internet. If you're not familiar with this term, here's a quick rundown. The internet used to be an equal playing field, but that's not the case anymore. Back in 2015, the FCC's legal infrastructure made it so that the internet was for the people. Everything can be accessed with the same speed. This allowed competitors to get the same treatment no matter how big or how small the companies may have been. But with recent changes, internet service providers, or ISPs, have full control over how easily a site can be accessed. This directly affects you, the consumer, and your level of quality of internet browsing. ISPs want to charge companies like Netflix, Google, and Hulu for basically how fast we can access their content, placing those who pay these demands into the fast lane, with the remainder being placed into a slow lane. Despite the name, the fast lane is pretty much the same speeds we get now, with the slow lane being even worse and crappier. If you don't understand the concept yet, imagine that the internet is a marketplace, and we used to be able to drive the roads to reach there for free. Now, ISPs want to charge us to drive the roads and charge the marketplace to have the roads reach them. With the inauguration of President Trump in 2017, the FCC got a new chairman, Ajit Pai, who, mind you, has worked for ISPs in the past. Under this new leadership, the rules have been changed from an open internet to a controlled one. These new rules will bring about changes that we as the consumer will feel the effects of. The first effect, and usually the most discussed, is the speed throttling of companies. As we mentioned earlier, companies will now have to pay for how easily we can access their content. Furthermore, this puts a brand new company and business in a tougher situation. Already they have to compete with larger brands for customers, but now they additionally have to pay for good access to their content. Without the ease of access, no one would even look twice at a site. I mean, would you be okay if a 5-second video took 2 minutes to load? Or if the site you're trying to load takes more than 20 seconds to generate? This brings the possibility of competition to an all-new low, which according to history has never been good. In fact, this isn't even a possibility, it has already happened. In 2014, Verizon and Netflix struck a deal to improve the connectivity to Netflix's service for Verizon customers, because Netflix paid them a large sum of money. This happened only 2 months after a similar deal happened between Netflix and Comcast. Imagine if this became a requirement to hold decent speeds, rather than just paying for increased speeds. The second issue is over the possible regulatory powers this gives both the ISPs and the government. This means any ISP can completely decide what websites you have access to. If Comcast, one of the largest internet providers, doesn't want their customers to be able to access Verizon or AT&T websites, they can just make that happen. This may not seem like a very big issue, but if Comcast has a deal with Netflix, then Comcast can cut off all possible access to Netflix's competitors, such as Hulu or Amazon Prime. Imagine not being able to use YouTube because your ISP has a contract with Dailymotion, or not being able to use Google and having to rely on Bing. That may sound crazy, but that's an actual possibility thanks to 2017 repeals on the FCC Open Internet rules. The last biggest issue this creates is the harvesting of our information. While this has kind of always been a thing before, it will become a lot more prevalent with these new 2017 changes. Now ISPs can legally take and sell our information to companies. What websites you visit, how long you visit, name, age, password, search history, everything. They can get all of it and sell it to as many companies as they want. The question now becomes, how do we fight against this? Unfortunately, there are limited options to combat this problem. The only real viable option is to lobby for your local and state representative to fight for an open internet policy. ISPs, however, have more money, connections, and lobbying power, so we're kinda screwed. Unless we get more and more people to understand why an open internet is a good thing and get more and more people to fight for this. It is really the only chance we have is to spread the knowledge and hopefully get something changed.